everyone, and welcome to the EVOLVE Voices podcast, a platform to hear about the fascinating stories behind people that power global commerce. I am Mayssa Nasr, a marketing and growth consultant, and I'm your host for the Middle East region. Today, I'm looking forward to our conversation with Firas Mghames, who's the CEO at FEER McQUEEN and Group CEO at FEER Group. A very quick background about Firas. More than 10 years ago, he was driven by a passion for innovation. So he set out to unite a diverse collective of talents, bringing together creatives, filmmakers, animators, architects, business consultants, you name it, under one roof. And his vision was to challenge conventions and to redefine the boundaries of collaboration. So today he's at the head of one of the best creative agencies in the region. Firas, welcome to the EVOLVE podcast, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Hello, Mayssa. Thank you for having me and thank you for the introduction. It's overwhelming. So let's see. We miss you in Lebanon.
Yes. So Firas, you started FEER McQueen around 10, 14 years ago, I guess, right?
Yeah, I started in 2000.
Okay. So 14 years ago. So tell us a bit about it, because we all know that, Lebanon is a market, true, it's full of talent, but it's also full of challenges, right? So what was it like actually to launch a creative agency there?
Actually, I was 26 back that time. I didn't have the business maturity, or I didn't understand quite well the kind of commitment that an entrepreneur should have. So back then it wasn't a strategic move. It was I had a feeling that I should have something on my own. I had the opportunity to start with some clients that they believed in me and the founding team. So it wasn't very strategic, and two, I didn't have the option to choose from where I should start. So it wasn't about I need to start from Lebanon because Lebanon is a good hub, or it has the right ecosystem, or it's the right place to start. It just this is where I live. I'm Lebanese. So, and definitely I didn't have access to another market.
Okay.
Having said that, as I move forward, I got more and more exposed to the challenges and to understand the real meaning about, both of us are Lebanese, and we understand how much we used to hear and we still hear how resilient we are. And that word didn't mean anything back before I opened FEER McQuEEN. Following all the challenges that followed since 2011 till today, I geared up that to open a company, and specifically a creative agency in Lebanon, it's not only the right of being an entrepreneur, being having a good business strategy, to have unique selling propositions, to have a disruptive approach, or to do things smarter, but you need to gear up and to be very resilient. So what I'm trying to tell you is, at very early, I understood how the things that I need to deal with, the external factors that I need to deal with.
Okay.
And one of them is how to create a company and a community where I need to protect it. I need to alienate it from the bad external factors that's happening around them. And this is why we worked on the culture, which is today, we're very proud to have a very good reputation around our culture, and which made us who we are today. Because we need people to come, be focused, to forget about the external pressures, to forget about the economy, to forget about the corruption that's happening in the country, to forget about the lack of justice, to forget all the bad things that unfortunately branded big part of living in Lebanon. And it became part of my mission.
Very nice. How many are you today?
Today we're overall as FEER McQuEEN, we're around 170 plus.
Okay.
In Lebanon, the team is around 130, 140. Working from Lebanon, it's our headquarters in Jaita. So that's our headcount. And when we started in 2011, we started as a very small team, the typical 1, 2, 3, 4 people. Some of them, they were part-timers, some of them, they were full-timers. And ever since, we've been growing into that number. Hopefully we won't grow more, so I don't add more pressure on myself. But it seems that I'm addicted to growth. I like it. I like the community. It's one of the main triggers of why I wake up in the morning and do whatever I'm doing. I like to be being an introvert. However, it turned out that I really like to build communities and to be around creative people, ambitious people. And I believe that as a Lebanese talents, we have a lot to prove.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. So you were saying that you are a bit more than 100 in Lebanon. So today you are in multiple countries, right? Can you tell us a bit where do you operate today?
Yeah. We have our office in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. We
Okay.
have an office in Doha in Qatar. We have an office in Larnaca, Cyprus. Around 6 months ago, we opened in Muscat, Oman, and
Okay.
now today, this year, we newly kicked off our which it seems to be a very promising market, by the way. So this is where we have an operation and an office. We have some talents in Cairo, but we don't have an office in Cairo.
Okay.
And so we started that in 2024 to add to our mix Egyptian talents, which I can say that it's a very, very rich pool of talents.
Okay.
They have amazing creative people, amazing artists. So we see a lot of potential in Cairo. Unfortunately, due to the economic situation there, we don't believe that opening an office in Cairo that means tackling Egyptian clients is the right time. However, the talents are there and they can work pan-Arab and they can work on a very high level. So that's
What was the turning point, Firas, that actually enabled you to expand beyond Lebanon?
it wasn't by choice.
Okay.
I'll be more honest. Most of the things that a lot of things, that led us to who we are today, they were reactive and I'm not shy about that. And for example, opening regionally was due to the factor that Lebanon got hit very hard in late 2019.
Yes.
There's the revolution that started in Lebanon, and later on we had the COVID, and then we had the currency devaluation, the banking crisis, and all that. So which pushed us to go to search for different markets very quickly in order to retain the team and to retain our positioning and everything that we built since 2011. So the turning point was that there is a great potential in FEER McQUEEN. We've been competing with the internationals and the multinationals in Lebanon, which is, for whoever is listening to us and doesn't know the region, Lebanon is the hub or one of the main two hubs of the advertising industry and the marketing industry in the region. So for a local independent agency to compete with the multinationals and to be a lot of cases winning over them, that's a great achievement. So knowing that and seeing the team that we've built, we thought that the best way is to go and search for new markets, believing that we have the right team and formula to win.
Okay. Nice. So Firas, you have a background in computer graphics and animation, right? And the master in design.
Do you know what that is?
Computer graphics?
Yeah.
You can tell us more about it, actually.
Okay, I was challenging you. That's normal because actually I don't even know what it is, and that's the irony of things. Actually, it's a bachelor of science it's bachelor of science in computer science.
Okay.
Not in graphics and animation. And the reason that I'm mentioning that is I went into university in 2003, and I've always been good in science. Pure science, math, physics, and all that. But I was the artist in the classroom, drawing on my notebook, drawing on everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
So I had these two personalities of the artist and the analytical part, and I didn't want to get detached of any of them. So typically, someone into art would go into cinema, will go into filming, or will go into graphic design, or go into arts and all that. Or you go into computer science or telecom and all that. And I wanted the best of both worlds. So what grabbed my attention was this new bachelor. So it's a bachelor of science, and I always believed that I'm a man of science. It turned out I'm not, but I'm good into analyzing stuff. And I love art. So which turned out to be where you study the 3D, which was still a new industry. You study motion graphics. You study, and a lot of that was used during using coding. So you
Okay.
need to have a strong math background to understand how graphics are generated,
Interesting.
and it helped me a lot in my career. So now today, whenever the team is working on a mobile, on a website, on VR, AR, immersive experience, which are the developers, I can sit with them, I can talk to them, I can understand their challenges. Definitely, I cannot replace them, but I can relate to what they're talking about. And whenever I'm talking with the art people, the 3D artists, the animators, the illustrators, the graphic designers, I can relate to their challenges. And merging both was very helpful. And having this curiosity helped me along all my.
This was actually for you, actually. So how did this actually masters? Because it's you don't see this often, because it was the first time. This is why I wanted to point it out, your background. I mean, you don't see it often, computer graphics and animation. So I wanted to ask you, how did it, shaped actually your approach for branding, for creativity, for your career in general?
Actually, one of the things that turned out to help me along my career is being very curious. I was extremely curious. I'm still curious. And when you're very curious, you're not satisfied by the obvious answer. So this is why you keep on asking. And in my case, I don't ask, I search. So this is why I wanted again the science. I wanted the art. I went into 3D. When I graduated, I started as 3D artist and 2D animator. And I got bored after 2 years, though I was extremely good. I was good at least. And I was seeing in a company, and I was seeing designers working. And when I start seeing how they create identities, I totally fall in love in branding.
Okay.
And as I move forward, I went into the brand strategies, understanding that it's not, about the logo, the identity, the colors. There's a big rationale about it. And when you go understand that you're communicating to humans, there's a psychology behind it. There's a message that you're delivering through graphics, through lines, through dots, through colors. So I start digging deeper into that, and I was extremely attracted to that part. Until today, one of the discipline that I like the most in the agency is branding.
Okay.
And I understood that this is the core foundation of marketing. So this is the main branch of the tree where you build your communication around it using advertising, using PR, using digital assets, your website, your social media. They all feed on this big branch, which is branding. And I totally fall in love with it. What helped me it was pure curiosity.
Okay.
And for me, it wasn't about what the bachelor has and holding your hand, and you're holding her hand. It's about how eager are you to learn and where are you willing to put your energy. And my recruitment till today, it's still based on the same philosophy. So I don't go, I've never checked what people learn, from which university they come. For me, it's about their talents. I try to detect their talents. I try to see where they might thrive, where's the best place to put their time and effort, and for them to shine. And when they do, eventually they will be helping the business. And my advice is always to be very curious. It helped me at least.
It's a great advice. It's a great advice. Nice. Firas, actually, FEER McQUEEN is known, for the approach it has, very innovative. So you have big brands like, Danone, Bacardi, Swatch, if we name a few. So how do you balance today in your agency creativity with business objectives, right? Because it's not always, easy to do so. So how do you do it?
Now, how we do it?
Without revealing a secret recipe, of course.
Or I will tell you the approach. You have the strategy, or actually the business objectives. Okay. The strategy is the road that will lead you from point A to point B. Okay. And you need the car, the right vehicle that will take you from that. So for the strategy is the road. If you don't know where you're going, if you don't know the direction, if you don't know where you're driving your car, you won't reach your objective. Definitely strategy and planning and research and understanding the business and the challenges that the client has is a fundamental. And this is what I'm telling you is a no-brainer. That's everyone, they work like this. But the difference is that we realized that the whole difference is not going going from point A to point B is how fast can you reach that and at what cost, and how can you do it in the most efficient way without going into up and down the hill in the most optimized way. And for us, it was how to build the car to go you there. And the car are the disciplines of marketing.
Okay.
Branding, advertising, digital marketing, experience, activations, technology, production, animation, 3D, and all this. So what's unique about our approach is we've decided to have a full control over all the spectrum. And this is our model. So today, FEER McQUEEN is a big agency that everything that we do it in-house, everything. So we have all the talents in order that any type of strategy that we draw, we have the ability to implement it internally, to produce it internally. So we were able to build the brand and the brand strategy, to lead on the communication and the advertising, on the campaigning, to generate leads, to handle the social media content, to produce the content, to create a podcast, to create social videos, to create a big TV series, to create the animation assets, to do the branding in space. We have architects on board. We have engineers. So our mix is unorthodox when it comes to what advertising agencies usually do. And this is why we never called ourselves as an advertising agency. So we call ourselves as a creative agency, which maybe now we need to reposition into something else now with AI. But what we got obsessed with along the way is how we can build the fastest monster car that will take us from point A to point B. And for that, we needed a full control. So this is why we have a lot of departments. And this is why our approach to the business is very different than other advertising agencies, where they need to appoint a photographer, they need to appoint a production house, they need to appoint a PR agency, they need for someone to build their website for them, they need someone to handle their events, etc. For us, we're one agency that take it from A to Z, and very rarely, extremely rarely, we accept to work with a client that doesn't give us a full ownership over the project or the account, because sometimes they're big brands, they cannot give you the whole brand. But
Yes.
whatever we're working on, we need the full ownership on it. And that for us will guarantee the result and will make the experience better for them and for us. If I kill AI today in the agency, most probably they're going to burn the building, the team. We're going to have riots in front of the office. And that was something that we were trying to implement and pushing people and encourage our creatives to use it 1 year ago, 2 years ago. And it was very hard for them to accept it. But once they got the flavor of it, and especially when you start mastering AI and use it in the right context, you get addicted to it. And that's very dangerous, to be honest. So as far as I'm proud of us using AI and utilizing AI and using its capacity to maximize the capacity of what it can give us today, as much as it make me wonder what's next and where we're going. I used to be very advocate or I like AI. I was pushing for it. Now that I've been involved in it in the last, I think, 3 years, and to see how it's progress, I believe that there's something clearly along the way. Honestly,
True.
we all knew it's going to be disruptive, but I don't think everyone is aware to what extent this disruption will be. And on our industry, on all industries, now we're not going to stop it. We cannot stop it. So you're on the treadmill and we need to keep on running.
Yeah.
In the sake of the quality that you produce, and the sake of the efficiency versus competitors, etc. But nevertheless, I think at least myself and the team with me, whenever we have a free time, we sit and we try to project how the next 2, 3, 4 years will be and will change. And let me tell you, a few minutes ago, I was telling you that we're a hybrid creative agency. This is how we introduce ourselves. And I mentioned that at some point we need to change it. And the reason is AI. And we didn't change it because till now, there's a big debate about what the next 5 years will be in our industry. Because anytime you need to reposition yourself, you need to consider what you will be in the future. And maybe this is a fact that I don't want to admit yet, but I
Okay.
think it's
Okay.
gonna be a big thing, scary, exciting. So it's gonna be something new.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Well, it's well that at least you're embracing it, right, in your company. It's not that you're avoiding it. At least you're embracing it in a good way. Because I know some founders, some companies that today use it at a very minimum level, right? Because they are scared of it, actually. So this is why. But it's good at least that you're embracing it at
Listen,
FEER
we're
McQuEEN.
we're embracing it, and we're fully on board. We're even use it excessively, and yet we're scared of it.
Yes.
And
Yes, I
and
understand.
my approach is the best way to know what you're dealing with and what you're afraid of is actually to get familiar with it. So I prefer to know more about AI and have enough reasons to be scared of AI while I know what I'm talking about, than being scared of something that I don't know. Okay.
That's
So
a
we're
really
not scared
approach
of
to
the
it.
change. We're not scared in the sense of the traditional scared part of changing jobs or losing jobs or all that. I believe this is where people will evolve and job descriptions will evolve and job missions will evolve. What I'm scared of is big decision makers. What will hold them back whenever AI is extremely powerful and influential in our lives, more than just being a tool that will help us to be more productive. And I believe there's a big
Okay.
difference. The example
Yes.
that I would give just to one example is when AI helps bank or doesn't help bank, will decide who will get loan and who won't get loan. That's for me, that's very scary. Who will have the right to admit to this college and who doesn't have the right to admit this college. This is very scary. But being a designer that I used to use Photoshop, now I use Photoshop with AI, now I generate pictures. I used to be a photographer, now I can generate without photography. For me, that's the normal cycle of innovation.
Okay.
And things will, or people will evolve.
So we're talking actually about AI, and you mentioned earlier that you still don't know, the repositioning of FEER
Yeah.
McQuEEN. Should we keep it as, creative agency or not? But are there specific trends today shaping the industry? So if you think about, because you're saying that you don't know today the industry in like 3, 4, 5 years where it will be. But are there some, I don't know, some trends starting to show or nothing at all? Is it all about AI today?
Listen, the big title is AI. Okay. And that's enough. That's enough. The one that is, if I would like to be honest about what's shaking the industry is on the client side, the perspective is changing or changed after COVID, and this is affecting the agency. And let me explain myself. So you're a marketeer, you've been on the market on the client side, and I hope you relate to what I'm gonna say. But the marketing manager, the marketing director, the marketing department, whoever are on the client side, they had in their mind a mission about how to build a brand, how to create a brand equity, how to diversify, how to relate to their target audience, how to build a relationship with their audience, etc., etc. And having an impact on sales was definitely something that it is important, but it wasn't their responsibility as their sole KPI, right?
Totally.
Today, after COVID, and that's what you're seeing across all industry, their main objective, or probably the only objective that they have, is to drive sales and growth, sales and growth, sales and growth. And even in a lot of brands, even including very big brands, compromising on the long-term wins. So the pressure of the economy is pushing the CEO, the board, the management, upper management is pushing the marketing department, drive results today, now. And this is pushing and it's being cascaded on the agency. So in my opinion, the challenge of all agencies that they have is efficiency, because they need to do things in the slightest margins or cost versus before, driving results, handling the time pressure of the digital or the new trends of digital, because things are moving very fast. So when you are in a mission to drive sales, you need to keep on creating activities. You need to be abundant in your creation. You need to create a lot of content. You need to be very aggressive when it comes to talking to your customers and from client side. So your calendar will be full, and this will cascade on the agents. So the agencies are taking the pressure. They need to transform it into deliverables. They need to be smart in their operation and in their and how they talk to the client, how they deal with their customers, and eventually to get results. And I believe this is creating a lot of pressure. What's helping? New AI is helping. Definitely. Now today, this is why on the agency level or the people who are involved in the industry, AI diffused a lot of this pressure because it killed time. It gained the creative sometimes. So this is a good implication on the short run. So going back to your question, I believe the main two headlines are AI and being results oriented. All agencies, they claim, we all know, they used to claim that they get results. But results before are different in the mind of the CEOs of our clients of what the result is today. Building the brand for the long run, that's second. Getting me sales today, now that's what they want. Definitely I'm generalizing, but I believe that when you see things, how they're changing versus how it used to be a couple of years ago, and you see it a lot, you believe that this is the term.
So today, what makes a brand truly stand out today? How can you say that this brand, wow, it is really standing out versus the others, versus the competition?
You're not going to like my answer, but on the communication level, I think it's very hard for any brand to stand out. I think it's very, very hard because, again, going back to how abundant the communication is, everyone is busy, everyone is loud, everyone is speaking a lot, everyone they're creating a lot. The agencies are being challenged to the max, and this creates it very hard for any brand to stand out. So my answer is now today, what makes a brand stand out is going to go back to the basics, which is your product will stand out. So I believe going to the essence of the brand, it's not the marketing, it's the product. So,
but you can have very good product that doesn't sell, right? If the
definitely. I'm assuming that the marketing is good, but everyone nowadays are doing a lot on their marketing. Okay. So when they're doing a lot, it's really hard to differentiate what's good, what's not good, because you're doing a lot. And the consumer is getting a lot from here and there, here and there. What would help an agency, and that's not the aim of helping the agency, but what I mean, what will help the brand is actually doing something special on the product level. With good marketing, that will help the brand to stand out. So when everyone are selling this cup of coffee, having Starbucks, having a brand was enough. Today is no longer enough. You need to be innovative on your product level. You need to let people taste something different. And this is why we've been all hearing about the experience, new experience. Okay. So these new experience, these are the innovations going back to the product level, and having the right positioning, having the right quantity of content is better. I'm pushing now as much as possible. Our clients would convince them that, listen, let's hold on. We don't need to be that loud. We don't need to speak that much. Your audience is not listening. Your audience is listening. There's abundance of communication. And we understand that you're pressured, but this is not the answer. We understand that you're pressured from your client, your management, that I need sales. If you need sales, the answer is not being all over the place.
Okay, so you seem to better go into one or two channels that work rather than, doing the whole 360 of marketing?
It depends on the case. It depends on the case. It's about, that there's no answer for that. Answer, because this is where the strategy comes, and this is why we spend so much time into creating a strategy. Sometimes some brands need the 360, sometimes they need to be more selective. But the idea, what I don't like, and this is what I would like to pitch in, having by default an answer which is you need to be everywhere and all year long, that's not an answer. It could be, or it could be not. So after COVID, everyone assumed that you need to be everywhere because I'm under pressure. The more I do, the more I increase my chance in order to hit something. Okay. Now after COVID, I know that the economic pressure, but however, some brands, we need to go back to strategy. We need to go back to a strategy. One of the things that I've seen after COVID, that because it was a big crisis, economic crisis, we had the pandemic, etc., especially in the region, and in Lebanon, it was a very specific case. So everyone jumped from being strategic to being tactical, and that's normal. So being tactical, because you cannot plan 6 months ahead, you cannot go as if nothing changed. You need to go tactical, and this is why you do a lot of things, and you do it now. Right now, you need to generate sales, you need to keep your increase, you need to keep your revenue, etc., etc. But some brands are still acting as if we're still in a crisis. So I think they need to understand, okay, we need to pause, and now you need to go back into strategy. And don't assume you're going into strategy just because you have strategists on board. You really need to assess and audit, are we really strategic in our approach? Are we really thinking? Do I really have a good product before I go and jump into communication? And I think there's this illusion that a lot of brands have, that they have a good strategy, but I don't see that they have. I think they're still practical, and they're being, again, reaction to that, to the market. It's good to be agile, but it's good to have it in your nature as a brand. Being agile isn't a strategy.
Yeah.
Being agile, it's a personality. You need to have a quick response. You need to be clever. You need to be smart. You need to jump onto opportunities. Yes, all that. But that's not a strategy.
Firas, I think that after COVID too, I'm seeing a new trend where companies are not actually asking the help of agencies. They want to do everything in-house. Like companies,
That's a big trend.
Exactly. Have a marketing team. They're like, okay, we have our own marketing team. We'd rather invest in them rather than go and pay for an agency. So are you, like, in terms of clients, new clients, are you finding it harder today to have new clients? This is the first question. And the second question also related to that is, to all our listeners today, what do you tell them in terms of why do they need an agency versus investing internally in their team?
Listen, for me, it's okay to do it in-house. If it works, why not? Okay. If the subject requires to build an in-house team, and it is a big trend, if it works, okay, let it be. And sometimes it is working. So for me, my answer is, or my angle comes from that point. To do what agencies or an agency like us produce, you need a lot of components. So I always say we're building a big piece of 100 pieces of puzzle. Okay, so you need a lot of small pieces, put them together in order to build your campaign, in order to build your brand. That's the complication that our industry has today. Again, you need people, content creator for TikTok. At the same time, you need the DOP to create your TBC. You need the 3D artist, and you need the graphic designer, you need the illustrator, you need the copywriter. In our language, in our region, you need bilingual copywriter, or even sometimes more. You need a lot of people, but you need them in a fragmented way. You need 5% of that person, you need 2% of that person, you need 10% of that person, but you need a lot of people. If the client, he can have all this diversification of talents, and they have enough business to keep them busy, it makes sense to do it in-house. They will be saving money. Why not? What I don't like, or what I don't encourage, is when the client believes, okay, I'll get a graphic designer, I'll get an art director, and I'll get a photographer, and they will be doing all this. It won't work. So you have small tasks that they're irrelevant of who does them. You have adaptation on your brochures. You need a graphic designer. Definitely do it in-house. Don't waste the agency time, because you'll be wasting your precious time. Okay. Yes. But the idea of doing in-house, assuming 2-3 people, they can do the whole mix, it doesn't make sense. That's unfair for the team that you're hiring. You're not going to get what you want. Definitely there's going to be a big drop in the quality. And I know what I'm talking about, because I know how complicated it is for us to produce what we produce, agency like us and others. Actually, you need a lot of people. You don't need them all full time. So, and this is why we created what you create. So If you are PepsiCo, definitely you can do it. If PepsiCo decided, which they are, they have their design studio and they do it in-house and they rely on agencies on specific cases, that's brilliant. You have I don't know, 100 brands. You can keep them busy all the time. You can have specific talents. You can have a very talented art directors. Can have very talented illustrators. They have the whole full mix. For me, it's not a, if it makes sense, it makes sense. Why not?
Okay.
So,
All right.
so for me, it's like this. Now, going back to one of part of your question, is it challenging for us to convince the client to work with an agency and not doing in-house? The answer is no. It's not a challenge
Okay.
because running an agency is very hard. In our part of the world, at least, management
Yes.
is in the JCC countries, then they're forte. So for me, let them do it.
That's true.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna fail. They're gonna come back. So as simple as it is. Sorry for my honesty, but
No,
so,
on the
so
contrary.
it won't help. I've seen it in Doha. It's in all groups. They wanted to do it in house. They all did it. They all failed. I've seen it in Riyadh. Everyone, all groups, they do it. They all fail. Literally, they all fail. And they have the money to do it. They couldn't. And
Yes.
one of the
Yes.
main, there's two reasons. One, it's very difficult to do the management. Two, in order for a group to build their in-house team when it comes to the creatives, not the marketeers. I'm talking about the creatives
Yes.
specifically. In order to retain the best creators, that means they need to provide them, they need to entertain their creativity, which they cannot because they do not have the diversification of the agency has. They need to build a purpose for them, and they cannot because in the agency world, there's a big ladder that they can climb. And if you retain your creatives, most probably they're not the best creators.
Mm,
Again, I'm generalizing,
that's
but
true.
most probably. On the marketing level,
Yes.
that's the natural environment. That's where they thrive. On the creative level, it's more like why.
Okay. All
And
right.
I would like to add
Mm,
one thing. Because in the agency, what we sell, the product that we sell is their creativity.
mm,
So this is why they can thrive. They can be proud of what they create. On the client side, the product is what the client is selling, it's not the creativity.
yes, it's
So
true.
on the agency side, the craft people, because creators are craft people, their trade defines the value of the product that we sell.
True. Fiat, just one question about your leadership style. We talked about you at the beginning of the podcast about how you have a wonderful culture at FEER McQueen. So, what is actually your leadership style? And has it evolved over the years or as a CEO? So, how do you foster this good culture around it?
It evolved a lot. I would like to say that I become softer with time. Though I used to manage by love,
Okay.
but I was more anxious and more stressed than when I shifted to the true or the best leadership type, which is being fair, being inspiring, and no more love. And eventually, it made me much softer. That's the irony of things. Definitely, I evolved as a person, and the team with me who grew with the agency, they evolved also. And I don't know what's my style, or honestly, I don't know. I think I inspire people. It seems I'm good at giving people a purpose. I don't know why, but actually, I think the main trigger is except of being in Lebanon and I need to create this bubble to protect the people. I think I created first and a, an environment that I wanted for myself. So maybe I was assuming that I'm protecting the team and eventually it turned out protecting myself and creating a small utopia. That's how I see it. I'm a romantic person. So uh, I created a utopia the way that I would like to see the country, our country, because it's a very beautiful country, and I created what I believe is a good sample of what we as a community can be. And here I would like to tell you, for example, I don't know if you saw on social media, it's been 6-7 months we opened our coffee shop. Yeah,
Yes, I saw that.
that's our coffee.
Yes,
So
nice.
this is tips.
So you have now your own baristas, everything.
Everything,
Nice.
everything. We have very good coffee.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so for example, for this, venture, this small coffee, how did you come up with the idea?
Listen, we wanted, I think, that there's a curiosity around us. And
Okay.
especially that for a very long period, we were an underdog agency that we didn't promote ourselves. We didn't tell the world who we are. Till today, we don't even put a lot of our work. So we're kind of mysterious, though we didn't intend to. We were very busy working. That's it. It
Yes.
wasn't a strategy, but that
Yes.
created a lot of curiosity and buzz around us. So
Okay.
as we move on, I realized that there's a kind of a bigger community around the agency of friends and friends of people that they work here, that they like the place, so they always compare their jobs to the job of our staff. So it started rippling that. And the best way is to invite people. I mean, we can't invite them to the agency. You can see there's a lot of work. It's a very harsh environment when it comes to being productive and deadlines, etc. So it's not la vie en rose like people assume it is. So we find that maybe a coffee shop uh, where uh, on the first floor we have a co-working space which is open for everyone. They can rent it. Downstairs, we have an indoor space and an outdoor space with very good coffee. And we made it for people to come and work. So we took everything that we don't like about Starbucks and Dunkin', from the wooden chairs, which are not very practical for long stays, from bad internet, from light, which is very bad for the eyes. So we created a place. If I was a freelancer, if I was a consultant, if yes, I wanted to go and work somewhere outside the office, what would I want the place to be? And we believe in that way we will be able to invite or having our 4 year long open doors to invite people to be part of our community. And plus, it would be cool for our staff to have a place to have meetings, um, to brainstorm, to go outside their tasks, etc. So this is all we come up with. So there's a meeting room you can rent. There's nice music. It's my playlist. A lot of people they don't like it, but actually I put my playlist on it. That's it. Again, it's
Okay.
building a
So,
community for expanding this community and creating again the small utopia. Because coffee shop it's on the same street as ours, so now we have a full suite. It's all colored with our color.
nice. Firas, how do you deal with work-life balance? It seems that you work a lot.
I think
You're a husband and you're a dad too, right? So how do you deal with all that? There's family, there's work. So how do you do it?
I don't find it challenging. Honestly, I work a lot, and I pay a lot. For me,
Okay.
there's no. I don't focus on the balance. I don't believe in it. I believe that if why should I work from 9 to 6 and have fun or play or relax from 6 till midnight? For me, why can I do both all the time?
Okay.
From that approach. So whenever I'm in the office, I believe that I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my life. I'm in a good mindset. And whenever I'm in home, if I need to check my phone, if I need to reply, if I need to have a call, I would do it. So where that one comes to me personally, I don't create a pressure on myself where I need to have clear boundaries. I don't believe in that. So for me, the balance is an integration of both together. And I don't see that work will make it's a poison that will infect my personal or the life part. When it comes to the kids and being a father, which is definitely the thing that I like the most, for me, my approach is quality time, and my approach is dense. No, it's more. I measure it by density. I don't measure it by time. And I felt maybe this is not a mother. I'm talking maybe father thing. I felt that my kids they don't want me around them all the time, and maybe
Okay.
sometimes they're annoyed if I'm home or for a week I'm home working from home. They don't like it.
Okay.
Sometimes they feel, don't you want to go out? Even if I'm not talking to them. So what I felt that they want from me, they're they're eager and and hungry for having a quality time and have a lot of density. We, when we talk about stuff, we play, we have fun, we analyze stuff, challenges. I have them to create solutions to their problems. So I build this problem solving mindset, and that's what they like.
Okay.
And more than this, I think I create pressure on them, which
Okay.
helped me.
Good
Yeah.
pressure. Good pressure. Yeah.
Good pressure. I hope so. I hope so. One of the things that I fear the most is to create unnecessary challenges for them when your influence is too influential. So I think this will create a bad pressure. So
Okay.
when they start measuring, okay, I need to do a lot to be like my dad, which is I don't like that. I don't want. Don't do whatever you want. Anyways, so I think that it worked in my favor, at least in what they make me feel, that we don't need you 24/7. We
Okay.
need
Yeah.
you 2 days a week, but when we're together, we're together.
Yeah.
Uh,
For
so, uh, so maybe that's it. And being a husband,
okay.
that's
Yes, of course. Okay, Firas, I have two or three last questions for you. The first one is, what is your ambition, you as Firas personally, in the next 5, 10 years, and is it aligned with FEER McQuEEN ambition?
definitely it's aligned because I'm very invested in FEER McQuEEN, and it's a reflection of my personality, and I believe that the personality of the team is integrated within me. So it's hard to separate both. Um,
Okay.
and I don't see it as a bad thing. I believe that, for example, one of my main objectives, it's been a very long time, is not to turn into a family business.
Okay.
However, I understand very clearly the value of the family business and their impact on how they shape the economies and organization along the way. And creating a family or a spirit of a family, that's for me a very important factor, but it doesn't have to be my family. So whoever is coming, we can be part of that family. And there's a big difference on that. And for me, this aligned with my ambition and my, if you want to view on life. So to clarify it more, if I want to say it more bluntly, day after day, my ambition is to increase my influence and my positive view of life in the community that I live, and specifically in Lebanon. I believe that
Okay.
I'm very lucky to be a very positive person, and I cannot be but a very positive person. I'm very optimistic. I'm built in like this. So, and with time, and especially in the crisis, I felt that this is a responsibility.
Mm.
So keeping the positivity to yourself in time like this, in a country like this, where there's a big potential, there's a lot of ambition from youth, but they get trapped in the negativity around them. It feels a responsibility to play an influence about how you can invest your talents in the right way, how you can invest, how to keep hope. And that's mainly my ambition is to increase this influence and having a more impact, a positive impact, definitely. If it was about if I want to expanding the culture of the agency to reach different businesses or to reach different countries, that it be. And I would like to see it as exporting this nice case study and to take it somewhere else. And that's what we're creating. So this bubble that we created here, we did it the same in Riyadh. We did it the same in Qatar. We're doing the same in Baghdad. And from that, I'm conquering the world. That's my evil.
Nice. Very inspiring ambition. So Firas, today, if any company wants to reach out to FEER McQuEEN, actually, so do they need to be in these specific countries where FEER McQuEEN operate, or it can be any company around the world?
No, any company around the world. There's a big part of our business is not from the region. Mainly our biggest client is in Switzerland. It's been for the last 10 years. I don't know if I mentioned that Swatch globally is one of our biggest clients. It's been since 2013. And they're located in Biel in Switzerland. We've been working for the US for at least 7, 8 years. We've worked with brands in Canada, worked with the brands in Italy for pasta. So we worked anywhere. When I say about the expansion, it's about having a physical office. We've been working for the last year a lot for Texas. And
Okay.
we've established a micro presence now in Texas, a physical presence in Texas. It's still challenging that part, but it seems very promising, and it seems success is a very good uh, source of business, and there's a lot of to be done on the marketing level, and that was very surprising. So we're taking a lot of branding projects and websites from Texas. It's been, I think,
Okay.
9 months now. So
Okay.
we believe we're definitely working internationally, but our presence is in the Middle East region, or JCC, between Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Qatar, and that region.
One last question for you, Firas, that I love to, end usually the podcast with my guests about is a book recommendation. So if you have one book to recommend, which one will it be and why?
Okay, let me get.
You have it?
Yeah. Listen, I have two. There's a book
Okay,
which
perfect.
is I never finish it because every time I read part of it, which is for Osho. It's called Intuition,
Okay.
and it's knowing beyond logic. So every time
Uh,
I have some some questions that I'm looking for an inspiration. I read some parts of it, and so actually I've read it several times, but never in a very systematic way. And I like this book,
Okay.
but in a more fun way, a fun book. It's this book. It's called God Explained in a Taxi
Uh,
Ride. You can understand for me. It's the world's second best book on God. And it's written by a creative person that used to be part of the agency's work. He used to be the executive creative director of such and such.
Okay.
And it's a very nice book because it's you can read it on a taxi ride. You can read it in um, I don't think it takes more than an hour, but has a lot of
Okay.
wisdom in it. So there's a lot of there's a lot of sarcasm, but I always
Mhm.
find a lot of wisdom in sarcasm. So,
Okay.
and imagine coming from a creative director, definitely he's looking at the world in a different way, but seeing it in the purest form, but explaining it in a very different part. And I like that.
Nice. Well, I'll definitely read it
Yeah,
then.
it's
Thank you
fun.
for
It's
the
fun. Don't expect
recommendation.
a lot, but it's,
Okay,
yeah.
nice. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot, Firas, for your time, for all the insights. It was great having you. And for all our listeners, thank you for staying with us until the end. And as usual, keep evolving.
Thank you.
Now make sure you subscribe to Evolve Voices, this leading and incredible project where our ambassadors are interviewing amazing professionals from all over the world so they can share their perspective and benefit you with their perspective, their knowledge, and you can understand what's happening in the different markets. Evolve Voices is a project part of the Evolve Commerce Club, the #1 and leading community where we connect international professionals in the world of commerce. We are now connecting professionals in more than 40 markets, and every week we invite an expert to share their perspective and their knowledge. So if you'd like to know more, you can always look at the comments. We have a link there so you can request your application and stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching. All the best. Ciao.